is my tutorial and review for the new Counterculture DIY Fast Set Turbo. I have already prepped and sanded my tumbler with an 80 grit sanding block, and now I'm adding my stars and half moon stencils. I'll be skipping the filling and the sealing of this snow globe for this tutorial so we can focus on the epoxy portion. But I got you, y'all! I'll post a more in-depth tutorial on how I make my snow globes in the upper right hand corner of your screen if you'd like to check it out. I decided to give my background a spacey type look to match my stars and moons. So for the first tacket layer, I'll be using a fine version of Midnight from PDB and applying it to the tumbler. For the second coat, I'll be using Death Star from Peachy Olive, as well as Pisces and Black Magic from PDB for the second layer. And I'll be doing that cool trick we learned a couple weeks ago to flatten the glitter by using a paper towel and 91% alcohol. I wanted to use nothing but the Fast Set Turbo for this tumbler / experiment, but I also wanted to add extra glitter because it's me, y'all, it's me. But I'm not yet confident enough to try and mix the glitter into the epoxy because this stuff, it cures really fast, you guys, super fast. So I normally put the glitter into the epoxy when it's normal epoxy. But since I can't do that with this tumbler, I'm going to adhere it by using Quick Coat from CC DIY. It'll also seal my glitter even more, and it'll let me add a tad more sparkle. I also discovered this sealer does not show the scuff marks from the earlier sanding like the spray sealer does. Just be sure to let the Quick Coat completely dry before adding any epoxy. Like, it has to be bone dry, fam. Bone dry, okay? If it's even just the slightest bit wet, the epoxy can repel, and you'll get this weird white filmy stuff in your epoxy. It's not cute. It's not cute. So let it dry. Dry! Now we are ready for our first coat of the turbo. For the first couple of coats, I neglected to use my timer so you guys can get a feel for the time, but I do end up using a timer for the final coat on this tumbler. Like I said, this tumbler is all fast set turbo, but you don't have to use all of the fast set turbo on your tumblers. I did it for the sake of this tutorial / experiment, but you can also just use the turbo for those coats over your glitter so you can quickly move on to the next step, or you can use it as a final coat to get your tumblers out to your customers faster or ready for a craft show. First thing I noticed with this epoxy is the lack of smell. When I have my respirator on, I don't smell anything at all, which will be nice for all my sensitive to smells fam out there. Secondly, this epoxy has a lower viscosity. It's super thin and liquidy, which makes it easy to mix. So this will come in handy because you need to mix fast. Like, waste no time, fam. Whip that epoxy like there is no tomorrow and get it on the cup. Normally, this will give you a bunch of bubbles to contend with, but you'll see the minimal amount I got after whipping up a batch. I've been using CCDIY's products for several years now, and I absolutely love their epoxy resins. They came up with the very first fast set epoxy a few years ago, and now they've raised the bar again with this turbo. I absolutely love this product, but there is definitely a learning curve, and we'll go over everything I've learned in the last couple weeks since I received the product. First thing I learned was that you have to work fast. If you do not work fast, you're going to get ripples in your epoxy coat. If you look at the finished tumbler on the left, on the right you'll see me epoxying the layer, but I didn't go on there fast enough, so I ended up having these ripples at the very top of the tumbler. If you want a smooth finish, you're going to have to help it level itself out, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, so the most important thing I've learned is that you have to be fast. So for my final coat, I didn't even want to use up time to set up my camera at my turner. So I mixed this coat off camera, and now I'm just getting it on the cup. To help the epoxy level itself out, you're going to see me lightly going up and down the tumbler using my finger to help even it out. Then I'm going to hit it with my torch quick. Like, my torch is like literally sitting on standby, and I'm going to hit it with my torch, but instead of kind of going all around the tumbler like I usually do, I'm going to go up and down the tumbler to evenly heat the epoxy so it smooths out. At least that's what I think is happening, because this is going to be the smoothest epoxy layer that I've gotten so far. I am now immediately pulling my tape. As soon as I finish evening out the epoxy and torching, pull the tape. Immediately pull the tape, and then I'm cleaning up my edges with a paper towel and alcohol. So for a quick recap, the smell, minimal. When I have my respirator on, I could barely smell it. Secondly, this epoxy has a lower viscosity. That means it's thinner, so you can whip up a batch really fast and get it on your tumbler with not a lot of bubbles. And thirdly, this epoxy can be used as a final coat and on light colored tumblers. It's extra resistant to yellowing, so for those lighter colored tumblers, you can go ahead and use it on there, and you can also use it as a final coat. I've also seen some questions where people are asking about the shelf life of this epoxy, and the shelf life is 6 months. So I hope this has kind of helped you guys, or helped eliminate some of your fears to using this epoxy. You just have to be quick, you guys. Quick, whip it up and get it on the tumbler, then help itself even out by using your finger and your torch. The faster, the better, because as soon as it's mixed, it's curing. I'll be keeping this tumbler so I can do an update on it in about a month to see if it's still as beautiful as it is now. I have no doubt that it will be. This layer though, I mean, it's smooth. This one is smooth and it's beautiful. So I hope this helps you guys. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. A huge thank you to all of my mentorship and channel members. Your support is literally everything. If you'd like more info on the Fast Set Turbo, I'll have the CCDIY website link below, as well as a 10% off discount code if you'd like to try it out for yourself. Until next time, fam. Bye!